Hey guys, Steven Martinez with The American Dream. I just want to say a big thanks to all our supporters and fans. It's because of you guys that we're able to keep growing. Having said that, please don't forget to follow and subscribe. It means a lot to us. That's what helps us keep growing. And also, I hope you guys enjoy the next episode. Hey guys, welcome back to The American Dream podcast. I'm here with a very special guest, world-renowned author, Michael E. Gerber. Thank you so much for coming, brother. I appreciate it. Big shout out to Howard. Howard was the one that was able to connect us. He's an awesome guy. We had him about a week ago or 2 weeks ago at our podcast. So it's clear that the E-Myth has sold over 3 million copies. It's very well known. Before we dig into the book itself, for the younger people coming in or people who don't know Michael, who is Michael in terms of what happened back then when you were a child to nowadays, tell me about your life a little bit.
Well, simply said, Inc. magazine calls me the world's #1 small business guru. The Wall Street Journal calls my work the most transformational work ever published. So I say that to you not to say, look how good I am. I'm saying that to you because the work is so important. Millions upon millions upon millions of the smallest of the small have been transformed by the work that we've done over the past close to 50 years that we've been doing it. So we're focused on small. And why? Because most small companies fail. Over 90% of all small startups go out of business before they reach their 10th anniversary. So the question we've always asked is, why is that? Why is that they don't work? Why is that they don't survive? Why is that they're constantly struggling as your listeners, the people who are watching us now, the people you speak to all the time? The question is, why is this so damned hard?
Yeah.
And it's so damned hard because they're doing it wrong. So the critical thing that I want to share with everybody who's listening to us now, watching us now, is everybody's doing it wrong. Now, what do I mean by doing it wrong? The reality is everybody goes to work in their business rather than the way they should do it, which is on their business, separated from their business, not being the chief cook and bottle washer of their business, but separating themselves from their business to work on it rather than in it to create a transformational reality, a brand, unlike what everybody else does. So it's the brand stupid.
Yeah.
That's the point.
So I know you mentioned before on camera the story of Ken Goodrich, correct? Can you tell me again so the viewers can hear that story? That was a pretty cool story. Yeah.
Well, Ken is one of my co-authors, the E-Myth HVAC contractor.
Yeah.
There are now 35 co-authors of E-Myth contractor, the E-Myth chiropractor, the E-Myth attorney, the E-Myth accountant, etc. And these are all individuals who've applied my work to the development of their practice. First, it didn't work. Now it is transformational. And why is it transformational? Because they've applied the E-Myth to the development of what they do. And the E-Myth, as you know, is the entrepreneurial myth. And that really lives at the heart of it all. It's essentially saying that people who start their own company aren't really entrepreneurs, but what I've come to call technicians suffering from an entrepreneurial seizure.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of the boss, they become their own boss, and now they're working for a lunatic. So that's the secret.
Yeah.
The secret is go to work on it, design, build, launch, and grow a truly spectacular brand, just like you've begun to do at your young age.
Thank you.
To go to work on it, to design a truly spectacular brand focused on one thing that you become expert in. And when I say you, I don't mean you personally, I mean it. It becomes expert in. It becomes McDonald's. it becomes Starbucks. It becomes Apple. What is it about Apple, about Starbucks, about McDonald's? They're a brand. They're known for one thing. And everybody else is known for nothing. Just busy, 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 driving themselves crazy, working for a living. And therein resides the opportunity.
That's beautiful. So back to the E-Myth as well. I know we mentioned reading the book is one thing, but then studying the book is a whole different animal in itself. And you mentioned Ken read it 33 times?
Yes, Ken Goodrich told me he's read the E-Myth Revisited 33 times from cover to cover. And he said to me, every single time I read it, I learn something new. And what I learn is not just something new, but I learn to do something new. Because it's not just reading it, it's doing it. Because doing it is the key. And therein resides the greatest problem. That is, I could sit here and talk to you for the rest of our lives. But if you don't do what I'm talking about, it doesn't make any difference. So the people you are speaking to are people who need to do something other than what they do and how they do it. And in the process of doing that, a miracle occurs. And it truly, truly, truly is a miracle. When you begin to look at Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, he started McDonald's. Ray Kroc acquired the franchise rights to McDonald's. He was 52 years old. You think about that. He started McDonald's at 52 years old with the single operating store he opened when the McDonald brothers gave him the franchise rights. And what he did is he opened up his corporate store, and he opened up his McDonald's store, and he came over to the McDonald's store to work on that store, but didn't work in that store. He had a manager for that store. He had people working in that store. Ray Kroc never worked in McDonald's. He worked on it. So critical.
How were you able to kind of study these stories and analogies and concepts and apply that to the book? Was this kind of life that brought the book itself? Did you have mentors? What was the whole process of that?
Say that again.
So for the book, was it more of something that you had as a child, that you learned concepts, or did you have a mentor that helped you create the book?
No, actually what happened, my brother-in-law came to me. He owned an advertising agency in Silicon Valley.
Oh, wow.
Name's Ace. Ace came to me and said, Michael, I want you to meet with one of my clients because we create leads for them, but he can't convert the leads into clients. Can you help him? I said, Ace, I don't know anything about business. He said, Michael, you know more than you think you do. Wow. Just visit him and let's see what happens. So I said, sure. So we went to meet Bob. I don't even remember his name now.
That's fine.
And Ace introduces me to Bob. Bob says, hello, Michael. Ace says, guys, I'm going to take off for an hour. Get to know each other. Let's see what happens. So Ace takes off. Bob says to me, so what do you know about my business? I said, nothing, Bob. He said, well, what do you know about my product? I said, less than that, Bob. Well, if you don't know anything about my business and you don't know anything about my product, how can you help me? I said, I haven't a clue, Bob, but Ace thinks I can. We got an hour to kill. Let's find out.
Yeah.
That's literally how all this began.
Wow.
So it began with me asking Bob questions. And the more questions I asked Bob, the more I came to realize that Bob didn't know anything about his business either. And he owned it. And it was astonishing to me.
Yeah.
How could a guy start a business and not know anything about business? So all the answers Bob gave me were anecdotal. Well, sort of. And I finally asked Bob, I said, Bob, do you have a selling system? And Bob said, what's a selling system? I said, Bob, it's how you sell what you do. He said, well, I hire salespeople who know how to sell, And they're also tech guys, so they understand the technology. And I just leave it up to them to do it. I said, Bob, that's your greatest single mistake. You need a selling system so that every single one of them are doing it in exactly the same way to produce exactly the same result. He said, well, how do you do that? I said, well, that's the critical question, isn't it, Bob? He said, well, can you help me do that? I said, sure, Bob. So Bob hired me as his first consultant.
Yeah.
Ace comes back to pick me up. He said, what happened with Bob? I said, he hired me to consult with him. He said, Michael, you don't know anything about his business. How can you consult? I said, Ace, that's what I told you before we came here. I said, the truth is I know more than Bob does.
Wow.
And the reality is I know more than Bob than you do. So we started. That was my first client, my first small business client. It not only proved to be so successful that I was suddenly meeting with another client of Ace's, and then another client of Ace's, and then another client of Ace's. I said, Ace, you know what? I should be doing for you what I'm doing for them, because you're not in the advertising agency business. You're in a completely different business. You need to learn how to do what it is that needs to be done so you can then engage clients in teaching them how to do it. Exactly what I'm doing with each and every one of them. He wouldn't listen to me. He wasn't interested. I finally realized that I would go off on my own and do this thing I was doing for Ace. Ace brought in a guy to replace me. His name was Tom Travisano. So I spent time with Tom to show Tom what I was doing. And Tom then asked me, so where are you going? I said, I'm going to go out and start my own business. He said, I'm going with you. I don't want to stay here.
Yeah.
And so we did. We created our very first business development firm, the Michael Thomas Corporation. Michael Thomas. And it was the first business development firm for small business ever created. And we went to work on our company, not in our company, to determine our dream, our vision, our purpose, and our mission. Asking the question, what's our dream? What's our vision? What's our purpose? What's our mission? Our dream was to transform the state of small business worldwide. Holy cow, how in the world do you do that? Just like I was doing for Ace, a business development system. And so we went to work on the Michael Thomas Corporation, doing it, improving it. Till one day, a guy comes to me who was the fiance of one of my employees. And he listened to a seminar I was doing called Key Frustrations in a Small and Growing Business and What to Do About Them. It was the free seminar we gave away to small business owners. We'd go down the street knocking on doors and invite them to a seminar.
Wow.
And they'd say, why? Because you haven't a clue what you're doing. And it's free. Why not? So we did 3 of those a week. It was about 3 hours long. I led them until I scripted it and then replaced myself with another one and another one and another one to the point where I wasn't doing them at all. So this guy comes and listens to me, and he was with a publisher, Ballinger Books. At the end of that seminar, he came up to me and said, Michael, how'd you like to create a book? I said, a book? He said, yeah, Ballinger would like to write a small business book, and I think you're perfect for it. I said, what would it be about? He said, your seminar. I said, sure, why not? So he said, let me go back to Ballinger, I'll talk to them and come back and find out what to do about it. And he did. He came back. He said, they want to do it. So they retained me to write the book, and that first book was called The E-Myth. Why most small businesses don't work and what to do about it. The name E-Myth was created by him. He came to me and he said, I got the title for your book. I said, what's the title for my book? He said, The E-Myth. I said, why the E-Myth? He said, the entrepreneurial myth, stupid. You've been talking about it every week, on and on. And I said, sure, why not? So that's what we did. I wrote the book in 3 months.
Wow.
And it was published, and immediately became a smash hit.
It's incredible.
And then the next book, and then the next book, and then the next book, and on and on and on.
So where does the passion come from in general? Because it sounds to me like obviously you're helping people in their business, which is great, but that passion and drive every day, where does that come from?
Well, it comes from inside. Mm-hmm. It comes from the impact that we have on people who say, but how do I do that? But how do I do that? But what are you talking about? But how does that work? And the more you do that, the more you experience the profound impact it has on people who are so confused. You got to understand, when I said earlier that everybody fails, think about it. It's a tragedy. Everybody fails. And when you think about everybody fails, and you understand when they started, they didn't start it to fail, they started it to get rid of the boss. They started it to be successful at something they thought they knew how to do, but had no clue how to do what needed to be done, which is design, build, launch, and grow a true business. They knew how to do the work. They knew how to sell real estate. They knew how to be a chiropractor. They knew how to be an accountant, but they didn't know how to create a business of that. That's what we realized they needed to do. And so the passion comes from impacting now millions of people.
Incredible.
And as you begin to impact millions of people, and you begin to change completely the way they do what they do, and see the impact it has on their families, on their loved ones, on their kids, on their wives, and their husbands, on their mothers, on their fathers, on their uncles, on their aunts, on their clients, and so forth, how could you not become excited? You've seen that. You feel that.
Of course.
You feel that. Every single time you have that look in somebody you're speaking to, and they say, oh my God, where'd you learn that? How did you do that? Etc. You know what I'm talking about.
That eye of the tiger.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Where does, it seems to me that one of the key traits here, when you're speaking about doing, I think people are hesitant when it comes to that because they're afraid. Fear. Why do you think people are afraid?
Well, they're afraid because they haven't a clue.
They're afraid of the unknown.
They're afraid because they're going to lose everything. They're afraid because they haven't a clue what's going to happen, and they're working their ass off, and they don't know how to do that any better. And everything that anybody's telling them doesn't make it any better, simply makes it worse. And so there are now 73,000 business coaches in America.
Wow.
That's the number.
Wow.
73,000 is the last number I saw. But what difference does it make? 42,000, 96,000. But they're all saying the wrong thing. They've all gone into business to become a coach. They didn't go into business to transform the state of small business worldwide. It's just language, it's just words. When you begin to realize there's something at stake here, and the something at stake here is their life, you then begin to understand how important it is. And when you understand how important it is to transform the state of small business worldwide by transforming the state of entrepreneurship worldwide, in order to transform the state of economic development worldwide, you can begin to understand how important this is. What you're doing, how important this is. There is nothing more important than the work you're setting out to do. Nothing. Nothing. And I know that, absolutely know that, as I'm sitting here speaking to you about that. There's nothing more important than what you've set out to do. And so, because there's nothing more important than that, you need to take it more seriously than you've ever taken anything in your life. This isn't just a business, this is a calling.
Got goosebumps just now. That's true. Very true. But would you say there's a point to where you can be too hard on yourself? Because I think I'm like that sometimes. I'm always on the drive. My mind's just going.
No, you're never to be too hard on yourself.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
Never beat yourself up. Never to be too hard on yourself. You're never hard enough on yourself.
Wow.
Ever. That's true for you. That's true for your clients. It's true for the people who come to your seminars. They are never hard enough on themselves. And they don't know how to be hard enough on themselves. But it's a rigor. You understand?
Yes.
It's a rigor. You have to bring that mentality, that spirit to the people you're speaking to. You have to become the one who speaks it, does it, is it, and lives it in a way that they don't see, don't feel, don't understand, don't appreciate. It's not just a business. It's not just about the money. It's about the impact they're going to have on everyone they come into contact with. It's that important.
So I have another question for you, just kind of thinking about what you're saying. So if you were to compare your generation and my generation, would you say we're outdated? Like, what is our generation, the younger generation, missing to really achieve that level of entrepreneurship?
There's no difference.
No difference?
No. You're 27, I was 27. I'm 88. If you live long enough, you'll be 88. So understand there is no difference. None. If you look at when I started this in 1977, and you look at where we are today, you understand the condition is identically the same, though all the language is more stupid today than it was even then.
Yeah.
And by stupid, I mean really stupid. You got me?
Yeah.
Really stupid. And when I say this to you, you've got to take this in to your heart. Really stupid.
Wow.
And so we're speaking to folks who are really stupid. And you've got to be willing to tell them that. You're really stupid. You're dumb as a stump.
Yeah. I love that.
You're dumb as a rock. You're really stupid. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
So empty your mind, a blank piece of paper and beginner's mind. That's the key. Every life a legacy. Every life a legacy. Everyone, yours, mine, Luz Delia's, everyone's. Every life a legacy. The question is, what is yours? And when you realize that and understand that every small business is a school, every life a legacy, every small business is a school, you then begin to look at how important everything we're talking about is. When you get up on that stage, you got to understand when you say the American dream, how significant that really is and how important it is that you live up to it. You get that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So transitioning back to the E-Myth business, right? Obviously. Would you say that's also applicable to life and relationships and marriage? Those same kind of...
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. It touches everything. It touches everyone. It has the same impact to the degree you take it to heart, to the degree you take it to your soul, to the degree you take it to the spirit that drives you every day when you wake up. Every day when you wake up, you'll then begin to realize why what you say is so important and what must take what you say to be that important. And until you do, it's just more stuff. 73,000 small business coaches, just so much stuff.
And how important would you say the trajectory of one thing's understanding the blueprint, how to build, scale your business, how to systematize it. But I think in an essence of life in general, how important is God in all of this?
It's all the same. When you say how important it is to create a system, you have no idea how important it is to create a system. I say you don't. I don't even know you. You have no idea how important it is to create a system. You have no idea what Ray Kroc went through, the founder of McDonald's, to perfect the system of McDonald's. You have no clue. Now, please understand, that isn't, I'm not saying that to minimize who you are.
Of course.
You don't know. Simply that. You haven't a clue. And hear me, none of them do either. But that's why it's so critical for you to take it seriously. What is it when I say to systematize your business? What is a system? How does a system work? Why is a system so important? Why is there one system for doing this and another system for doing that? How do I go to work on the system to perfect the system, to transform the system, to create a reality unlike any reality on the planet? How, in fact, do I differentiate what I do and who I am from those 73,000 guys who are going to get up on their stage saying what they say, and every single one of them copying this guy, copying that guy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? It's so important.
In your opinion, would you say everyone is built to be an entrepreneur?
No. I'm saying that everyone could, were everyone to go through the proper, most important process, but everyone is not up to doing that. When I say how important this is, I'm saying that most people don't take things to be that important. Understand, most people aren't Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Most people aren't Elon Musk. Most people aren't Ray Kroc. Most people aren't these extraordinary individuals who have invested their entire lives every day, hour upon hour. When Musk talks about what he did to build his first company, what he did to build his electric car company, he slept in the office. He slept on the floor. He was there 14 hours a day, 15 hours a day, 17 hours a day, working on it to perfect it. You understand, when you begin to think about someone with that much passion for what they've set out to do, Steve Jobs with that much passion to do what he set out to do, you begin to realize how little passion most of us have. So the question becomes, so how do we do that? Well, you've got to learn how to do that. And you learn how to do that by putting yourself into boot camp. And when I say boot camp, I mean boot camp, just like in the U.S. Army, boot camp. You've not been in the U.S. Army.
No, my brother.
Yeah, boot camp. Did your brother go into boot camp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask your brother about boot camp. Then you'll begin to understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. What's my boot camp? Got to ask yourself that.
How important is it to maintain that discipline?
Everything. It's everything. It's how important? It's as important as I'm making the passion everything. That's how important it is.
So for anyone that's young and aspiring, they want to be an entrepreneur, they understand the concept, they're passionate, they're disciplined.
Wait a second. They understand the concept. They don't.
Okay.
They're passionate. They aren't. They're disciplined. Forget it. They're not disciplined. They're not passionate. They don't understand the concept. They're completely unprepared for what I'm talking about. They're stupid. So how to be unstupid? If what I just said is true, that everybody's stupid, you understand? If everybody's stupid,
that's true.
And it's true, everybody is stupid.
Wow.
Me too. Everybody's stupid.
Yeah.
Then the question is, so how do I go to work on me? to transform the state of stupid to become something other than what I am. I don't understand how to do that. Somebody does. I need that somebody. But you understand, that somebody is like the sergeant in boot camp. You're going to beat the shit out of you. And you can do that because you need it. And you need it because you want to get smart. And you want to get smart in a way you don't even understand now. The sergeant does. You understand?
No, I don't.
Yeah. The sergeant
I'm learning
does.
now. I'm learning.
The sergeant does.
Yep.
Yeah. Do it, do it, do it, do it. The sergeant does. Every one of us need a drill sergeant. Every one of us. But none of us want one.
Why? Why do you think we don't want one?
Well, are you serious?
You think we're scared to get that?
Come on, give me a break. Who wants to go into hell? Nobody wants to be put into that terrible position.
Yep.
Nobody wants to be beat up every day. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. What I want to be loved. I want to be cared for. I want to be regarded as smart. It's just horrible.
How important is it to pick the right partner as well?
It's everything. It's everything. Pick the wrong one and they'll be kind to you. Pick the wrong one and they'll say all the wrong things for all the wrong reasons. And you'll never figure it out until it's too late. Very, very, very important. And I say it's very, very important because what you're doing is you're taking on the accountability for transforming the Latino prospective entrepreneurs in a way that no one else is. No one.
Yep.
You understand? No one. That's your responsibility. That's your accountability, which means you got to go to work on you. You got to be tough on you if you're ever going to serve them. But you understand, to serve them, you've got to be tough on yourself. And say, I haven't a clue. I haven't a clue. I haven't a clue. I don't. You get it?
No.
Yeah.
There you go. What's the goal, I guess, for you? Obviously, the E-Myth in itself, you created a legacy with the E-Myth. What do you want to leave, or words of encouragement, I guess, for anyone listening? What are words of advice that you would give someone?
Well, my words of advice are very simple. Read the book. And then begin to do the book. And then get somebody to become your mentor, to lead you through the process I now call the dreaming room. And the dreaming room is really the process that we've designed to awaken the new entrepreneur within everyone. And the entrepreneur is really 8 different discrete personalities. I say the entrepreneur is a dreamer, a thinker, a storyteller, a leader, a designer, a builder, a launcher, a grower. The dreamer has a dream, the thinker has a vision, the storyteller has a purpose, the leader has a mission, the designer has a job, which is to create your client fulfillment system. The builder has a practice, and that's to design, build, launch, and grow your business format, franchise, prototype, to build a business, to build an enterprise as a prototype for a great growing company. I'm saying you need to go through that. And when you begin to go through that, you begin to see what's missing in your picture. If I don't know what my dream is, how can I possibly know what my vision is? If I don't know what my vision is, how can I possibly know what my purpose is? You see, first the dream, then the vision, then the purpose, then not the vision, then the purpose, you understand? There's a very rigorous process that every single one of us need to go through to truly awaken the new entrepreneur within.
In your opinion, is the American dream dead? In your opinion, is the American dream dead?
No. American dream will never die unless you kill it. We're on our way to killing it.
That's a whole another podcast.
But thank goodness thank goodness our new president is determined to transform the state of America worldwide. America first. And he's just doing a stunning job. I mean, if you're watching, just a stunning job. The American dream is alive and well in his office.
Boom. Brother, thank you so much.
You got it. My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys, for this podcast. I'll see you guys in the next one.